Welcome back again, Ian Hayes, aka Mama G, co-creator, as I always say, along with a prime creator of Fiercely Fulfilled Feminine, where I help star seeds to heal sexual trauma, reclaim their power, and experience true fulfillment through what I call the Sacred Sexuality Reclamation Method. Now, today, I just want to remind you that your trauma does not need to haunt you. So I'm here today to guide you as to how you can actually create the calm that you crave, because that's what you truly crave. It's not another relationship. It's not more money. It's not more whatever. Well, validation, you may crave that, okay? It's really calm. You see, because it is in stillness and presence that you find your worthiness. Yeah, because that's where the awareness comes in. That's where the clarity comes in. That's where the presence tells you, when your nervous system is relaxed, that you're good to go. You're calm. You look around. I'm good to go. Everything's good to go. I'm safe. I'm safe. And when you're safe, that's when you heal. And that's when you heal at your best. So what is keeping you from being able to create that sense of calm so that you can move on and move beyond the echoes of your own trauma? Well, I'm going to talk about anxiety, what that's about. Yeah, we're going to talk about cortisol levels. You probably already know. If you're here now, been there, done that, stay with me, because I may just give you a little bit of something, ding, and that's all it takes. That's all it takes. I will bring in fear, distraction. I'm going to share what I believe your number one priority should be, something that you can choose to have be for you and your reality, and how you can go about making that priority happen. It has everything to do with you. Absolutely. Okay. So let's get to this. So first of all, what is anxiety? I'm not going to tell you okay, there are physical sensations in the body that are indicative of anxiety. Anxiety to me is essentially ruminating thoughts and overthinking the past and worrying about the future and not being present. So it's shallow breathing, tightness in the chest, maybe just a flush feeling all over the body, a tingling sensation, tremors, headaches. Okay, are the bodily sensations. Anxiety. So what does anxiety serve? Because everything serves something. Anxiety is essentially you with your body, right? Because you're doing it together, is, whether you're conscious of it or not, suppressing uncomfortable emotions. Emotions that have become trapped in your body that you're not yet ready to feel. Because you've got to feel it. You know this if you're here, you've got to feel it to heal it. It's also obviously the heaviness in the body. It's the fact, I've talked about this a lot, is that you've cut off energetic pathways. There's actually, it's frozen. There's parts of your nervous system that have literally become frozen. And there's not communication at its optimal level between all the different tissues and organs in the brain and your body and all different parts of your body. We need that neural network. Okay, it's like a super highway, and you got it jammed up in spots. It's blocked. That's trauma. And the anxiety is kind of that level that says, because anxiety is more of a physical sensation. And anxiety is the result of, okay, there's anger there. Beneath that anger is typically sadness, hurt, pain. Right? And on some level, like I said, conscious or not, you don't want to feel it. Because first of all, if you get angry, what does that say to you about you? And what might that do? And how might others around you, including your loved ones and your family and your friends, respond? Oh my goodness, is something wrong with her or him? if you get sad, even depressed, maybe you feel depressed at times. Gosh forbid if somebody says, okay, you have a mental illness, there's something wrong with you. Just get up and get out there and get over it. The shame. And you may be aware of that or not. Or maybe there's fear, because if you show up with somebody else to heal what you truly desire on a deeply subconscious level, at least, you're going to have to be vulnerable. And you may have to share things that you haven't shared ever in your life, or very rarely. So there could be some level of fear or safety. A fear of, am I going to be safe? Can I trust this person? Because perhaps chances are, if you're here, you have experienced deep, deep degrees and levels of trauma, hitting all the major core wounds and probably every area of your life. That's why I'm here, because I've been there. And I'm still on a healing journey. We don't ever stop transforming. We don't ever stop growing. Yet we keep showing up, and we do what I call the reach back, and we help the next person, and we just keep going. So we've got the anxiety, right? It also obviously has to do with the fact that you've dealt with an event where you felt perhaps in danger, it was uncomfortable, and it created trauma because you would never had the opportunity to process that trauma because you were not nurtured when that trauma happened, or series of traumas, or immediately following any of those traumatic events, because your caregivers were either abusing you or they were in denial somewhere else. They weren't protecting you. And the nervous system needs full processing and integration. And if it doesn't get it, it goes into survival mode, which means stress hormones like cortisol become heightened, chronically heightened. They never really go back. I don't want to say never, but they may not go back to a normal baseline until you start to heal deeper layers of your trauma. And if you've been at it for a bit, you've done a retreat, you've done all kinds of healing modalities, and you're still here, do not shame yourself, because you wanted to learn all those different modalities, divine blueprint. The key is to keep going. Prioritize yourself and honor yourself. So that's where the anxiety comes in. Now, part of that drive and the anxiety that you have is because of the cortisol. It's because of the trauma. So it's an actual physical mechanism within your body that is helping to keep you alive. You're in survival mode. So that drive is there automatically. It's just kind of been put and set in motion. And so the key is to disrupt that, so that you can begin to recalibrate and restabilize the nervous system. That is the key. And that's why somatic healing techniques are so big right now. So there's the anxiety, heightened cortisol levels, distraction, overdrive, fear. I need to, I have to, jack of all trades. Okay, I've been there, trust me, attached to money, hiring high-level wealth coaches, manifestation coaches, business coaches, spiritual coaches, all with the hope of, okay, I got to make money because that's what success is. It means I'm healed. That's the message I kept giving myself. If I can make money, not just manifest, because if you're here, I'm guessing you manifest like a banshee, okay? You know the law of attraction, all of that. And yet there's just something missing there. And it seems to be a struggle. You're feeling the overwhelm. You're feeling the fatigue. You're not feeling the pleasure or the fulfillment or the prosperity that life can truly give you. That's what's missing. And it's just, and it's all connected to worthiness. And you're probably like, I don't want to hear about that again. But guess what? That was me. That was me. If it's still a struggle and it's not showing up, there's something deeply, deeply embedded there related to an inner child, or a parallel reality with an inner child related to unworthiness. It's not your fault. Don't shame yourself. You don't need to add any more shame to the core shame that many experience on this journey, especially with sexual trauma. So there's a lot of And I'm going to get to what I think you got to do about it. Obviously, heal, but stay with me. There's a lot of I have to, I can't, I need to. And I was there too. I can't make this change or do this until my kids grow up. I can't do this because I don't have the money. And that's just too scary. If I don't want to step out on my own, or I got to wait for this, I got to wait for that. My kids need me. I have a mission, all kind. Trust me, I've been there, all of it. I had an online academy for troubled teens and their parents. And yet I was passionate, and yet I was exhausted. I was exhausted. Here's the deal. The mission means squat if you're not taking care of yourself. There's no mission without you. Your number one mission, and everyone's on this planet, I believe, is to heal, deprogram, deconstruct the false 3D matrix, to feel the uncomfortable emotions that you don't want to feel. Because it's the only way that you are going to continue to heal, to grow, to evolve, and to ascend. And when you do that, you act as a resonant tuning fork that allows others to do the same, because you initiate it just by being in somebody's presence. You don't even have to be in their presence, because we have something called quantum entanglement, and it works just as well for all the positive resonant frequencies that are out there. So if you're at a point where you're saying, I got a to-do list, I'm overwhelmed, I'm exhausted, I'm this, maybe you're a super mom, you got kids, you're running this, they have events, they have activities, you got a husband, a spouse, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you might be, because that was me at one point. I was just running a mile a minute. Part of it was I just didn't know how to slow down. Part of it was because of the programming from the patriarchal society that says that just is how you have to do it. You have to be there for every single one of your children's events, because if you're not a good mom. Or you're going to miss out on some part of their life, or it's going to mess them up. Oh my God, my mother wasn't there. And that's your trauma too, because you want to be there in a way that maybe your caregivers weren't. And I get that, because I've been there, but it's got to get to a point where you realize, like I did, that the only way I'm going to truly be there in the way that I want to for my children is to be there for me first, to take care of me, to heal, and to be okay with it, to be vulnerable, to step back, to stop working 2 jobs and driving Uber and feeling like I got to be at every single event. It's a process. So here's the priority. The priority is you. The priority is you taking time to heal, not just the one-off. Oh my goodness, I'm going on a retreat this year. Oh, I've got another one scheduled in a few months. Oh my God, oh my God, it was so amazing. We had the sister circle. And I'm not trying to mock it. It sounds that way, but that used to be me. Guess what? If you were to go on maternity leave, you got the little infant, right? It's at least 3 months. You're not working. It's not a one-off. You are with that baby, devoted. I hope full time. Full time. Think of it that way, like a maternity leave. Think of it as something that is proactive. If you're here now and it's gotten that intense for you, you can't sleep. It's, your trauma may be even haunting you in some way. Flashbacks, perhaps, like it was for me. Spiritual attacks, psychic attacks. Overwhelmed, fatigued, exhausted, can't keep up. Overwhelmed because you can't keep up. At the same time, you feel like you're moving too slow. It's all the nervous system, and it's the trauma, it's just getting too heavy in there. It's the distraction. It's just pushing out, pushing out, pushing out, instead of just coming back in and tapping in to your divine feminine energy, which requires rest. rest and restoration, rejuvenation. And if you've gone through intense trauma for extended periods of time with these heightened cortisol levels, you need a lot of rest. And it's going to be a back to back to the back to the back to the back kind of rest, especially if in a twin flame ascension path. So here's the deal. Me personally, I'm going to share what I've done, and I'm going to make some suggestions as to what you can do. First of all, when my kids were really young, I was widowed when my kids were really young. I started to have them help me cook dinner. We cooked as a team. So it was a beautiful activity that we spent together. It got done more quickly. We caught up when we were cooking dinner. Everyone helped to cook, clean, the whole process. They were sweeping, but now I had to make a chart list for them to do it, to get the, where do the backpacks? I taught them how to do laundry. They were doing their own laundry, folding their own laundry if they chose to or not. I didn't stress if they went out with a wrinkled shirt, which they usually didn't, but I was like, I got to let go of that. It doesn't make me any less of a good mom if my kid goes out with mismatched clothes or wrinkled. Guess what? I wasn't going to fight them to clean their rooms. Just shut the door. That is your pigsty. That is your mess. They had their own trauma anyways. So part of what I'm saying is have your children help you in different ways with all of the chores. And you might say, well, they got school and they got sports and they've got, guess what? They choose that. They're also part of your family. They're part of your household. And it is not solely up to you and or a partner to do it all. Whether you work full-time, part-time, or not at all. You are the matriarch of that family. You hold that sacred presence, and you can't do it if you're running around ragged. So you need to get that help. Delegate, whether it's to family members or whether it's to other people, whatever that might look like. Ask for help, whether it's from extended family, friends, neighbors, however that may look. Financial support, cooking meals, helping with the children. Hey, guess what? Maybe your child has a baseball game, a soccer game, your daughter has cheerleading, whatever it is. Maybe you never, hey, you know what? Would you be willing to take my daughter to practices? Or would you be to pick up or take her home? Or, maybe it's carpooling, or maybe it's just straight out. You ask them to help because you're the one that's going through an intense level of trauma. And you might just say, hey, I'm just going through some intense healing or whatever it is. You might have to be a little vulnerable. Go away and go to a retreat. I went to a retreat center for love addiction. I borrowed money to do it. And I took the time to go and to do that. When my kids were still young, I got a lot of help. I went away. I went away, to ashrams for the weekend. I went, I actually took a 2-week trip to Bali at one point because I needed it. I needed it. Okay. So asking for help. Here's the thing, if you've got a sick spouse or a sick child, you will do anything and you will find a way to be there in that sense of urgency and emergency. Here's the deal. It's an emergency if you're showing up here right now with me. It's urgent. I'm telling you right now, I've been there. It's urgent. This is your mental health, your physical health, your emotional health, your spiritual health. Health. I said that, right? I didn't say hell. I said health. Okay. So others need me. No, they don't. Not like you think they do. Your children are resilient. The people in your life are resilient. You see, I made a choice when one of my children, I have 2 grown adult children right now. One of them was about to enter high school. One was about to do their last year of high school, senior. I was like, there was a lot going on. It was a lot more than just, there was kind of some weird, conspiracy type of stuff going on too, related to my trauma. So the cold winters, I wasn't feeling good. I just needed to change. My daughter was getting into trouble. And I decided I wanted to move out of state, move to a warmer climate, just get a fresh start. And also by selling a house in the northern part of the United States and moving to the southern part, I was able to get a whole lot of cash out as a result, which helped to pay off a lot of debt. So you can imagine now my son ended up staying behind for the senior year. That was rough to be separated that way. You know, it was a big change for my daughter. It was very challenging for her. And yet they're here today and they're better for it. They're more resilient than you think. It's you first. Okay. Downsize. It's just you get so used to living a certain way and having certain things, and you just downsize. I sold everything, cars, houses, whatever. I just downsized. I don't need this. I don't need that. I sold everything. I didn't sell. I just gave it away. Gave it away, sold a few things, gave it away, gave it away, gave it away. Simplified my life. Okay. What else? Just step back. Stop hiring business coaches. Hire a coach to support you or become part of a circle where you feel heard, witnessed, validated, where you're able to share your story, briefly, not, you don't want the ego to orbit it, but where you can show up and feel validated. That is important because that likely hasn't happened for you to any real degree just yet. Go with a female embodiment coach, somebody who understands the free flow of sexual energy, you see, because that's the creative life force of the universe. That's what gives you your power, your vital life force energy. Without it, you're depleted. You just drain the energy, and you're not having fun, whether it's sex with somebody else, making love to somebody else, or self-pleasure. Okay. I'm having a lot more fun than some married women. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So I have to break that programming down. And if you need someone to help you to do that, I got you. I got you. So that's that right there. I've got so many different types of techniques that call them somatic techniques, call them ancient sacred healing techniques. A lot of techniques that I use are new to a lot of people and clients who show up in my life. So, and for me too, I'm like, wow, this is powerful, simple yet powerful. So here's what I'm going to do for you right now. I have got a 5-day free online masterclass happening Monday, December 8th to Friday, December 12th. All about the sacral, tapping into sacral energy. You see, because the pelvis is where it all starts. If you can unlock the pelvis, then you unlock your life. That's the womb of creation. That's where you take intentions and you root them in. Otherwise, it's just frozen energy and you deplete until you're done. And if you're here, that's not what you came here for. So there it is. It is possible to leave that haunting behind, but it happens in stillness and presence so that you can release those trapped emotions. So you start to get the free flow of energy. So you start to access your worthiness. So you start to realize that you can reach out. You do deserve help. You can deprogram from the patriarchy and take time to heal. But I'm telling you, take time to heal. Don't make it a one-off. Don't put it off. Do it now because you deserve it. You deserve it. Love you so much. Peace.